I hope that AI, especially generative AI, is widely used in the country. I think that we have to make sure that trust and all of those things are there so that these things can happen. But I think that the countries and the nations that use generative AI, those are the nations that will benefit the most and be most effective in this, moving forward.
Welcome to Tech Talk. This is Siddharth Jindal from Analytics India magazine. And today we have founder of Sarvam AI, Vivek Raghavan with us. Hi Vivek. So how are you doing today?
Doing well, Siddharth. Nice to be here and talking to you.
So Vivek, how will you define Sarvam AI? And is it too early to call it OpenAI of India?
See, what we are trying to do here at Sarvam is to actually create generative AI experiences that for all Indians, right? That is the intent of what we want to do. That is the ambition of what we want to do at Sarvam AI. And to do that, we want to take almost a full stack effort, full stack approach. And that means starting from building certain kinds of foundational models to actually going to the level where people can experience these large language models to actually, maybe through the medium of voice in their own language, to do things that are actually make their lives easier or get things done for them. And that's the intent. But we've just started here. I don't think we are trying to build the class of models that OpenAI like GPT-5 which they're trying to build. And secondly, obviously, if we are as many people can use our models as OpenAI, we'll be very, very happy. But I think we are just at beginning of our journey, and certainly neither are we intending to do, but I would be very happy if we are as successful as them.
So in your journey till now, what have been the major challenges you have faced?
I have spent about the last 15 years of my life before Sarvam building different kinds of digital public infrastructure. And that includes long stints, doing long stints, building technology at Aadhaar, being advisor to things like, GST and UPI and things like that. But also in the last 4-5 years, being involved deeply in Indian language AI, in the open source world. I was advisor as part of Step to the Bhashini project, and I was also, mentor to AI for Bharat from IIT Madras. So I was spending quite a lot of time on Indian language AI. And of course, in December 2022, something changed, right? I think the whole world woke up to the idea of ChatGPT, and what we realized is that this is a very transformational technology, and not just a transformational technology, it's also a deflationary technology, which makes lots of things which were not possible because they were too expensive to actually become possible. And I think that is really the power there. And we said that the country that uses and is able to leverage this technology to the greatest extent will be a big beneficiary, because, whether it is that, every child being able to, talk to a good teacher, or everybody being able to consult with a high quality doctor. These are things which were previously not possible. They are still not possible, but I think at least there is some light at the end of the tunnel. And therefore, that's one of my hopes that, when Pratyush and I started this, was the intent to actually, how can we get Gen AI to leverage and make the lives of people better. The fact that, we have been able to raise some money is actually a responsibility. It is not a indicator of success. It is a responsibility. We're able to leverage this to actually do things meaningfully in the Indian market.
So how many infrastructure you have, and how many GPUs you have acquired till now, and how you are leveraging that tech?
So I don't know. I can disclose the numbers of GPUs, but I think the important thing that you have to understand is that we are not trying to build. We're not trying to build tens of thousands of GPUs and build a frontier model of that size. We believe that that basically smaller models that are domain specific models that are kind of tuned to Indian language and Indian context and also to Indian domains can actually be extremely effective at providing many of the things that Gen AI can do. I'm saying certainly some things only the largest frontier models can do, but many other things can actually be done with smaller, more efficient models. And that is the focus of where we are going to be. And we also believe that in India, people will experience Gen AI through the medium of voice and through the medium. And also, we are also be building agentic systems where it is not that you just get information, you can actually do things through leveraging Gen AI. And that's how I think the thing will be there. So while we do have, obviously, while we do have significant amount of compute, and that is probably a default in these things, we're not intending to build the largest models, and I think that we can be very effective with smaller models.
Can you throw some light on what will be the applications of the smaller models which you are building and whom you are targeting with that? Like what would be your market?
So in the end, see, we are targeting the Bharat market, right? So that's very important to understand. So people who are more comfortable, I mean, maybe even many of us may be more comfortable by speaking, more comfortable in our own language, but there is a large part of India where that is a fundamental access problem, right? So and how people are most comfortable with, and it can be anything, right? It can be access to a service, it can be customer support, it could be upselling or understanding of and listening at scale. For example, getting feedback from people at a very large scale. All of these things are there, and of course, we think that fundamentally, we think that we're going to build this stack of technology that will make it usable within other areas such as, healthcare and education and things like that. That's our longer term vision. But I think that we want to build this stack by which, Indians can get access to accurate and good information through the voice to achieve a variety of services.
I would like to know like what is your foundation model strategy as of now. So last year we saw you released OpenHathi, which was built on Llama 2. So your next model is built from scratch, or you are building out on the top of any other model?
No, so we will use both these kinds of strategies. We will take certain kinds of, we will build on top of other models. We will always aim to do that. But we will also build from scratch. So the interesting thing that, which is, this is important regarding the OpenHathi experiment, was that we showed that in India there is a transliteration, there is basically a tokenization tax, right? So basically what you saw, that when you ask the same question in English and then you ask the same question in Hindi, it costs 3 times as many tokens. And if you go to some language like, for example, Odia, it may be even 8 times the amount of such tokens for actually asking the same question, right? And that is because the representation of Indian languages in these global models is not significant. So we think that if you actually have a different kind of tokenization, you can actually be more efficient, and there can be a larger token space reserved for Indian languages, which will make it more efficient to actually, make these models work more effectively in that case. Starting from Llama 2, you look at Mistral, you look at Llama 3, they are getting better mainly because the quality of the data is being improved. And quality of the data is everything. And how data is being generated is also changing. Actually, and that is something that is, we are having now more clever ways of generating data and creating data to train these models. But in the end, it is the quality of data that matters. And, I think that, so therefore we will be looking at both strategies.
At Sarvam AI, like what's the strategy for collecting data, high quality data?
So, I mean, I don't know whether we can talk about all of those things in detail, but we are actually building some quite sophisticated pipelines to actually create high quality data, which for training some of these models. So, and as you can understand, I probably can't talk that much about it, but I think there are very many innovative ways, and I would say that to do that.
Meta recently released Llama 3. So, and there are many more open source models coming up like DBRX and Mistral. So, I would like to know, like, are you planning to experiment with Llama 3 as well in the future? And which
Well,
is your favorite model?
Absolutely, we are going to kind of experiment with all models, all open models which are available. I think what we've seen earlier about Llama 3 looks quite good. And as I said, right, there are many open models, and we have a strategy where we leverage all of them.
On these similar lines, how you define the Indian VC ecosystem around generative AI? Like, what are their views and how eager they are to fund AI startups in India?
If you look at it from an overall perspective of how much investment has gone into Gen AI, I wish it can be much more, right? I think that's definitely something that because I think this is an important enough technology that many startups should be funded. At least that's my view. Others may have different views. And I think that it is something that I'm an optimist that there are lots of opportunities in this space, and they should be getting funded.
What is the reason we see very few startups in India which are building LLM from scratch? Like one is Krutrim and one is Sarvam AI, and there's Vizi who is building Hanooman. And according to you, like what is the like minimum amount through which an Indian AI startup can build an LLM?
I think as a generative AI startup, you don't necessarily need to build an LLM. Number one, and I think that if you look at even globally, you look at how many people are building foundational models. It is not that many. It is fairly small. So I think that in the end, the test is actually going to be who is building things that are useful for the market and actually move generative AI forward in India. I mean, I think I'm very happy that there are other companies also which have taken this up, because it means it increases the chance of there being a good LLM out of India, which is a good thing. I'm saying that that's something that is a good thing, and I think it's a validation. It's a good thing that there are multiple people attempting to do this, and I wish like all of them all the success that they can. Yes.
So earlier this year, on when Satya Nadella visited India, he announced partnership with Sarvam AI to build an voice Indic LLM. So I would like to know what's the update on that, and by when we can expect that model to come out in the market.
So see, firstly, it was great to meet Satya, of course. And one of the voice LLMs are something that we are going to be one of the core things that we are going to be focusing on, right? Yeah. And we hope in the next few months you will see some of these things being announced and released in the marketplace. So that's something that we are focused on, because I've said that we think that voice is the modality through which people will experience.
Any tentative deadline we can expect?
Nothing that I can talk about at this stage. Yeah.
And so, what has been the response to OpenHathi? Like, how many people have downloaded it?
So I don't have the exact stats, but obviously there are many people who have been downloading it and using it. And I think, but the intent is, was to actually just show what was possible. And I hope that we, got the ecosystem understanding that these are ways in which you can do very interesting things and build LLMs that are relevant to India. So that was the intent. It was more like a kind of putting something out there that the ecosystem can actually play with and experiment with. And so therefore that's the essence of what that is. As because we come historically as ecosystem players, we've been working in the open source through AI for Bharat quite a lot for a long time, and I think that we felt that we should contribute some things to the open source, and that was the intent of that OpenHathi.
So in the future, Sarvam AI's model will be like open source only, or some of them will be closed source as well?
No, it will be a combination. I think so. Therefore, I think that there are certain things that definitely we will probably will be closed source. But I think we will also be open sourcing. In fact, after OpenHathi, there's also a data set that we have open source called Samvad. So therefore, there, as I said, will be a combination. But as you see, we are a for-profit company, so we can't do everything open source. So we'll do open source when it aligns with our viewpoint, right?
So in similar lines, we are seeing that many generative AI startups, not only in India but outside, are failing to generate revenue. So what's the strategy for Sarvam AI to generate revenue and make some money for itself?
No, that is the $1 million question, right? so we do believe that we do believe that if we create these voice experiences, generative AI experiences in India at a price point that makes sense, we do see that there is a interest in the market to actually deploy these kinds of solutions. But time will tell, but I think that we do believe that we've hit on something that there will be interest in the market.
So with so many Indian startups like Krutrim and Hanooman developing Indic LLMs, so what's the USP of Sarvam AI and how do you differentiate from them?
You see, I think the way that you should look at it is, I think our goal, while we want to build foundational models and we will build foundational models, the main experience that we want people to experience is actually experience things through voice and experience things through these kind of voice experiences. And that will be the unique, that will be the USP of Sarvam as to how we are able to deploy this at a large scale and allow voice experiences for people.
So I would like to know more about this voice thing and how this interface is going to be different from the currently available conversational chatbots.
See, I think that if you look at it, today's chatbot, if you see, maybe a text is the primary way of inputting things. I don't know if you have seen how easy it is to input text in Indian language. It's very hard, right? Yeah. So and I think that naturally we are wanting to communicate and with each other through voice, right? So I think that it will feel more like as if you are talking to somebody, right? And that is the and that somebody whose goal is to actually help you to do something, right? And that is the intent of how you will experience Sarvam.
So as we know, like India has so many diverse languages. So how many languages are you focusing on right now? Because like OpenHathi only had Hindi.
Yeah, so we will be. I mean, I think so. Over the next few months, we will support about 10 languages. Okay. So we'll support about 10 languages, and over time, hopefully, we'll expand it even further from that.
So recently, Bhavish Agarwal tweeted that he's also building an AI cloud for Krutrim. So as of now, I would like to know like which cloud service are you using and for the compute, and like where are you training your models?
So I mean, if you know anything about the situation in India right now, if you are talking about like the high-end NVIDIA GPUs like H100, etc., they are actually not available in India at all. In case you don't know.
Yeah.
Now, but some of those things are changing, and I hope that when those things change, we will be able to do significant. And we want to do everything in India, right? That is the intent of what we want to be able to do. But to be able to do that, those things have to. So as soon as those things happen, we believe that we will do that here. Yeah.
So as you mentioned earlier, you are building LLM for India and you want to serve Indian customers. So to build an LLM, you require talent as well. So how are you looking at the talent in India, and like what's the culture at Sarvam AI, and how enthusiastic are Indian developers at building LLMs?
If you look at like AI papers or generative AI papers globally, you look at the authors on those kinds of papers and you will see that, a significant percentage of them are Indians anyway. So therefore, there is nothing fundamental. There is the talent is there. You have to create the system, right, by which that these talent can be used. So two things. One is that, and I think both, that one is access to the large scale compute and the large scale data, right? Those are one of the challenges, right? If that, the second thing, there is experience with that, right? If somebody has already trained whatever 50 billion model with 10 trillion tokens, that's not that common in India to find someone who has done that, right? But the fundamental concepts, we know. It's not like there is any magic in them. So therefore, those things we can understand and we can learn. And of course, the people who have actually had experience doing them, when you do, you understand ki kya karna chahiye and what you should not do. So that is only experience. So therefore, in some of those areas, there are some challenges. But in terms of fundamental capability, there is no, I don't think that is the challenge.
So I forgot to ask one question earlier. So lately there have been reports that Llama 3 is difficult for Indic LLMs because of some tokenization thing. So have you observed the same?
So, I think that there are some challenges, but I think that they are all solvable depending upon what you do. So, and we are also playing with it just recent. So we don't have a full comment on that. But I don't think it's a fundamental problem. But we'll see. We will find out.
And how's your response on Gemma? Many people are not talking about Gemma. So
No, we like Gemma also. We like Gemma. Actually, Gemma probably in Indic tokenization has done a little bit better job than either GPT-4 or Llama there. So therefore, I think I think, as I said, we want to work with all the open source models.
how's the overall culture at your organization, and what's the team size, and how do you keep your team motivated?
See, I think our team is, we're about 25 people at this stage. And, we're not going to become too big. We're, maybe 30, 40. That's how big we're going to be. And, I think that if you are in this area, you have to be self-motivated. Nobody can, if you can't come here and be excited about it, I think that, so it's almost a little bit of a self-selection, right? The kinds of people we have are people who have a high level of motivation and are kind of inspired to do this work, right? It's not, I think that's the secret, that, hey, there is a sense of mission, right? We want to do something. So I don't think that's a problem.
So, and what keeps you motivated? Like you mentioned earlier, you are at the age of 55 and you are one of the older founder of a generative AI startup. So what motivates you and how did you get into this field? Like from your journey from Aadhaar card to generative AI?
Yeah, no. So I think, as I said, it is kind of interesting. Probably 7-8 years ago, I first got into deep learning. Okay, not that long ago, and I actually had a intern. Okay, who was with me at Aadhaar. He is from Stanford, and he said how we should use deep learning for all kind of things, and that's how we got started. I got excited about it and things like that. And as I said, I was working with, transformer models, not these GPT class models, but we were working transformer models for the last 3-4 years to doing various things in this Indian language AI and stuff like that. So, and then when this happened, see, it is, for me, it's more a continuity of what I was doing before. Key that here there is an opportunity to make a big change in the country, and that is frankly the direction from which I come to this. Success for me means that very many people will use this. That is more important than anything else. And I think that we have to build things that people want to be able to use, and that's the challenge. And it's very exciting. Frankly, I never thought that I would be doing a startup at this age, but I am very, very excited that I am.
Are LLMs the answer to AGI and AI agents the future?
every technology plays a role, right? In the end, technology in the end are just tools. And how people use those tools to actually build things that are useful is what matters, right? I mean, I think that, I don't think that much about AGI and those kinds of things. I think about how humans' lives can get easier, right? That is the point that I think about. I don't think about, and I think that these technologies can make it happen. And a LLM itself is only a part of a system. Any real system is not an LLM by itself. Let me be very clear about this. Just LLM is only part of a system. AI agents are definitely, I think, something that is we are going to see more and more about. And I think that in the end, these are again actors who can actually make your life simpler. And I think if you think of it in that perspective, and when they come together, I think it is going to cause changes. Every process that we think about, every business process, will be changed by the presence of generative AI through the means of agents and stuff like that. So I do see that agents doing narrow tasks effectively, thereby increasing the capacity of humans to be effective, is definitely I think it's coming.
And how do you see the role of AI evolving in India over the next 5 years?
See, I hope that AI, especially generative AI, is widely used in the country. I think that we have to make sure that trust and all of those things are there so that these things can happen. But I think that the countries and the nations that use generative AI, I'm not even saying develop or train or use generative AI, those are the nations that will benefit the most and be most effective in this, moving forward.
And what's the near-term future roadmap for Sarvam AI?
Try to put something out. No, I think, see, I think that, as I said, voice to voice is our focus, and we will be putting things out there.
What final message you would like to give to our viewers?
No, I think it is, as I said, we live in exciting times. I think generative AI is here to stay. Generative AI will change things, embrace the future, and figure out how you will do things in the new world.
Thank you, Vivek, for taking out your time on a weekday, and I really appreciate that. And looking forward to the models which will be coming from your organization.
So yeah, thank you for doing this interview, and we'll be in touch.
Yeah.